Hey folks, Ray from BTU RV. So I'm back with part 2 of my Bluetti AC200MAX portable power station review. If you missed part 1, I'll link back to the video for you. In part 1, I just sort of went through and gave you an intro to it and went through all the features and specs. In part 2 here, I'm going to get more in depth with things, and we're going to do some charge and discharge tests. We'll see if it can run my air conditioner in my RV. I'll do solar and AC and DC tests, so let's get to it. For the first test, I thought we'd test the AC inverter on this Bluetti. And I got, right now I have a little space heater running. We're drawing about 900 watts. And then I can dial up my heat gun, and then we can see if it can actually go to 2200 watts. Get an angle where I can see both. Okay, so we're at 1500, handling it well. Let's just go up to the next level. Okay. $1,800 watts. Just about 2,000 watts. No problem. Next level. 2,100. And we'll put the heat gun on max. There we go. 2,300, no problem. I think it can actually handle this for a minute or two. I forget exactly, somewhere around there. Anyway, I'll give it good marks on that. It's advertised 2200 watt inverter is doing it no problem. So it does have a pretty robust inverter in it. Next, let's go and do various charge tests. I'll start with a DC charge test and then do an AC charge test, and then I'll do a solar charge test plus combo solar and AC, just to make sure it can charge properly on all those different formats. So I just have another power station here that will simulate a car charger. Turn that on, and this thing should start charging here. Yep, there we go. So we're getting right around 104 watts, 105 watts. So that's going to take an awfully long time to charge up, but it's just, you know, it's just running off of a cigarette lighter socket, so they have to limit how much current they can allow through at that, otherwise they'd be blowing fuses in your car. And to set that up, you use this cable here. It's like the DC input cable, and then it comes with a connector on the end, and it comes with this connector to plug into an automotive type socket. This connector also will be used when I plug in the solar panels. They'll go from that connector to a set of MC4 solar connectors. And there is optional things you can buy for this port. You can buy an optional piece of wiring that has alligator clips on it, like jumper cable clips, so you can hook it straight up to a battery to transfer the energy from, say, an automotive battery straight into this box. Or you can get another adapter that will plug into AC power. So you plug, it's like another power brick that you plug into the wall plug. Then it goes into here, and it can put 500 watts into this port, and then you can have the power brick that comes with it and have it going into that port, so it can max up to 1,000 watts charging off household power utilizing that optional accessory. So it's kind of neat. Their cabling is really good. They really are have nice, slick, high quality cabling, I find. I always like the Bluetti stuff for that. Next, I'm going to do a full recharge test using just the AC adapter here. I got it plugged in. we're at 0% on the batteries. Plug it in the side here. AC port should click on. We should see it start to charge. There we go. So 466 watts. Start my timer here. Let's let that charge up to 100% and see how long it takes. I noticed they installed a fan into their power brick. That's probably how they lowered the size and increased the wattage. Their old power brick was, I think, 411 watts, and it was a lot larger and heavier, but it didn't have the fan. But it would run quite hot, so I think I prefer having the one with the fan in there. Okay, back 4.5 hours roughly later, and we're right up at 99%. You can see the wattage is slowly dropping, so we'll call that good. It ran pretty well, right around 460 or 70 watts for the whole time. And now this thing's quite nice with the fan in there. It keeps it quite cool. Their old brick used to really heat up. Okay, so I've set up a test bed out here. I've got 1,000 watts of panels. There's 3 200 watt Bluettis, and then there's another brand 400 watt panel there for a total of 1,000 watts. I have them all series together, and the voltage I'm getting is pretty close to 120 volts to the Bluetti power station. So we're just going to test this and see what kind of wattage I can get out of these, and also combined with the AC power input, what kind of wattage I'll get for total charge wattage. Mother Nature isn't cooperating so much today. We got not perfectly clear sky, kind of a haze, but a lot of solar is getting through, so we'll test it out and see what we get. Well, I was able to get pretty close to 800 watts coming off the panels, and when I plugged in the AC adapter, it added around 400 watts for a total of 1,200 watts, so not too bad. Not right up to the claim of 1,400 watts, but I do have a bit of haze in the sky. Maybe in a further video I can try to do it on a little bit better day, but so far I'm pretty impressed. 1,200 watts isn't too bad to be recharging. That'll recharge that box quite quickly, maybe under 2 hours. Well, now that the box is 100% charged up, do a discharge test using a method that a lot of people always ask me about, is will it run an air conditioner? So I'm going to use my RV's air conditioner. It's your standard 13.K BTU air conditioner, rooftop air conditioner. Usually it'll draw around 1,400 or 1,500 watts when the compressor's running. The big trick with a lot of these boxes is, will the inverter be able to handle the startup surge that the air conditioners have? But this one, I think, has a 4,800 watt surge capability, so it should be able to easily handle it. So let me go turn on the air conditioner and we'll give her a test. Okay, so I've got the fan running. Now I'm going to turn on the cooling, and we'll see if it can handle the surge and start the AC. There we go. Seem to handle it. See, now it's 1,330 watts. So out of interest, I'll let that go, and we'll time how long it lasts. What do we got for time there? 15:25. See how long it takes to run this box down. Should last about somewhere between an hour and a half. After running a little bit, I noticed the load is creeping up a bit. 1,500 watts. holding steady at right around 119 volts, so that's good. But actually this AC hasn't run in many months because we wintered down south and didn't really need it, and we're off grid most of the time. So it's a good test for it. Half-hour runtime now at 57% left. Still running at 1500 watts. Basically the compressor is full on right now because we're cooling the rig down from what it was. Well, we just hit an hour and 15 minutes and we're down to 2%, so I'll call that test over. Turn her off here. So you can see an hour and 15 minutes out of the main box. You could add extra expandable batteries. One extra battery would get you, what, 2.5 hours, and two of them would get you 3 hours 45 minutes. So, you know, not a whole lot of time. That's sort of the way these boxes go. They can pack a lot of power, but once you start drawing, 1500 watts consistently out of it, you're not going to get a huge amount of time out of them. Now you could have 900 watts of solar going in, and that would expand your time greatly. You'd have to have your panels out, or if you're traveling down the road, you could probably utilize some roof solar and extend that time. It might start to be workable, but you can't always count on the sun. Anyway, it runs the AC no problem. I have a Coleman Mach 3 13.5 K BTU. Started it up, handled the surge, and ran it straight out for an hour and 15 minutes. Let's do a quick test of the 10 amp power socket here. Let's plug this in here. There we go. So it's going to try to charge this box through its DC input. And you can see it's drawn right around 100 watts, which would be pretty well standard. Gives you the output voltage 13.5, that's pretty good. 102 watts. We'll plug something into this as well and see what it says up here. It's plugged in Anne's phone, and then the wattage is coming out here, 4 watts. And we'll use Anne's little battery pack for her heated vest to test the USB-A input here. You can see it's showing 8 watts. So then the combined is 111 watts. This would be a good chance to test the pass-through charging. So this should be able to output power while you're actually inputting power. So let me get the power input here. There we go. So you see 469 watts coming in, 111 watts going out. So you can be charging and discharging it at the same time, which is an important feature. If a box doesn't have that feature, run away. And a quick test with Anne's DJI Mavic Mini drone battery pack. Seems to handle it no problem. Charging up right now, 13 watts. Next, I'm really curious on this 30 amp 12 volt output down here. The previous box, the AC200P, had a 25. This is a 30 amp output for running high current DC devices like, say, this air compressor. I guess some people could, if they're going to do, like, say, a small van build or a little trailer build, they could probably use this to run all the DC stuff inside their RV, like the fans and things like that. I don't think it would work on a big fifth wheel like mine, where I have to do slide motors and jack motors and things like that. I don't think it would have enough oomph. You need an actual real live battery to do that, but it could be useful for stuff like that. The only thing, they don't actually supply you the cable. It's an optional cable. Thought that was a little cheesy. You buy this thing almost $2,000 and they can't supply a little cable. So it's an optional cable. I think it goes for about 20 bucks, but I'm just going to MacGyver myself something up here so I can test it. I'm going to charge this box, run this, and I have a pump, and I think between all three I should get up near 30 amps. I'll show it to you on the app because the screen Another downfall of this box is out in bright light you can't even see the screen, but now that they have a phone app, that helps a lot. So what I'll do is I'll just record what goes on the phone app so you can watch it on screen. So that seemed to do the job. I saw it actually spike over 400 watts when it first cranked on, and when I covered the input here, it made this pump work harder, and I was getting a consistent 350 watts or so. So works well. I just wish they would include the cord with it. So there you go. Here's some in-depth testing of the Bluetti AC200MAX. Just show you where I'm going to store it and use it in my fifth wheel. It just fits into my basement storage area. You can see right there. Just enough. I think it's 15 inches and my area is 16 inches, so it just barely fits. So I'm going to have it in there. And then you can see that yellow cable. That's going to the transfer switch in my RV. So when I turn on the AC on the Bluetti, it'll put all the outlets in my RV live. And then there's the expansion pack. And then coming out the other end on the other storage bay, I have the AC plug that I can plug my generator into, or shore power to charge this if I want. And also the solar cables go out that side, because I have a kind of an output near my water closet. Just let me show you. Here we are. So that's what they call a water closet for doing the water hookup, and I also have my electric dump valves there. So I just have the power cable coming and the solar cables coming, and then this thing drops right through out the bottom, so it's convenient to run cables out. The solar cables I actually have running underneath and then into the front compartment, and I can run them out front there, and I have about a 30-foot wire on those so I can extend out. And then this is the power input for the Bluetti, and I can just put it down and I can hook up my generator extension cord right to it when I want to charge it up. In case you're wondering what this is, that's actually my Starlink internet dish. I just have the power brick mounted here, and then the white wire feeds into the router, and the black one goes out the bottom and then goes to where my dish is situated. Anyway, that should work out good. And you might be wondering how I'm going to control that or look at the display. Well, that's one good thing about this one. It has the app so I can see what's going on with the box. And luckily our fifth wheel has a trap door. I have a laundry door here. So I'll just be able to lift that up. I can poke my head down in there, and then I have full access to look at things and adjust things. Anyway, we're going to take this out and use it for a few weeks. Got some provincial campgrounds to visit. So I'll come back in a couple weeks with my full review, all my pros and cons, likes, dislikes, that sort of thing, and how we made out using it in the real world camping. Till next time, Ray from loveyourrv.com. Thanks for watching, everyone. Cheers, folks. Oh, and by the way, Bluetti asked me to mention that they've just launched the AC300 model, which is even more powerful and can be combined in many ways to up the wattage. You can see as high as 12,288 watt hours. 5,400 watt fast charging. I think this is more aimed at the home backup crowd. And they also look like they have a Memorial Day sale going on with some special deals.